house will be in order. The house will be in order. Please rise for a moment.
Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Bihahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of great millstones. Peace, mercy, and blessings unto the hopeful elect, the Israelites of the Bible, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And as you can see in these two videos that I found in social media, one was that in the government, you can see that the House of the government was trying to, give silence to Charlie Kirk because of what happened yesterday with how he got shot at Utah University when he was going there for a debate. And you could hear a Democrat in the background saying no, they didn't want to do it, and he had to tell them to get an order. And then the second video, you can start seeing that people are out there, walking, giving their respects for Charlie Kirk, and a guy screamed, "Fuck Charlie Kirk," and they started jumping him, started beating him up. And you're seeing it that how the kingdom of Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is getting destroyed little by little. You can see that it's being divided from the inside. And we can start it off with the book of Matthew chapter 12 verse 25, and this is Yahweh Shai, who the world internet calls Jesus Christ. And Yahweh Shai knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And you can see that United States kingdom is divided. You got the Democrats and the Republicans. You have two different kind of people, having different kind of point of views, and they don't like each other. And we also go to the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 51. It reads, Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. I tell you, nay, but rather division. And this is what division is happening right now. There's a division between the United States with his people, his citizens. It's not only going to happen to our people, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, but it's also happening to Esau Edom. Like it says right here, suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. I tell you, nay, but rather division. And why is there no peace on earth? Well, if we go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 22, it reads, there is no peace, said the other one, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, unto the wicked. And who is that wicked? Well, we go to Malachi, chapter 1, verse 1. It reads, the burden of the word of the other one, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, said the other one, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Esau is the so-called white man. Said the other one, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, yet I love Jacob. Jacob is the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And I hated Esau, and laid his mountain and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. And that happened in the Renaissance times, where it means revert, when they came back. Thus say the other one, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. So they thought from them building this country, they think they were going to build and be okay, but no. The Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, he said that he's going to throw down, he's going to destroy his kingdom. And they're going to be known as the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the other one, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, had indignation forever. So the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, hates the so-called white man, Esau Edom. We go to the book of Isaiah, because the Heavenly Father Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is putting that spirit against the Egyptians, and you can know we know that United States spiritually is Egypt, because this land was built in the backs of slavery, and we could go to the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 1, and it reads, "And Yahweh spake all these words, saying, I am the Adawan that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage." And how was this kingdom built? Well, it was built in the backs of slavery of the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Now we go back to Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 2. It reads, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians." So right now, that's what the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, is doing. There's a division between the Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. They're not sticking together no more. They're divided. "I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." And you can see that happen right now because of Charlie Kirk. And you see a lot of people posting on social media that they're sad, they're crying that he got killed, but you also have other people celebrating happiness, saying, "Oh yeah, they killed him." So you see there's a division in this country between them with Esau, Edom. Now, the thing is that you gotta ask yourself, if people are really getting mad over a human being getting killed, imagine when there's famine, when all hell is breaking loose. People are gonna be fighting not only with fists but with guns. And we can go to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 14, and it reads, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draw nigh, and one people should stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." And that's civil war. And this might stir up civil war, And the modern sword right now are guns. Verse 16, For there shall be sedition among man, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princesses, and the course of their actions should stand in their power. A man should desire to go into a city and should not be able." And that's when when all hell is breaking loose, when chaos is in the world, that's when order comes in. That's when martial law is going to come in more effectively. Verse 18, "For because of their pride the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and man shall be afraid." Men are going to be afraid, just like it says in the book of Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 6. "Ask ye now, and see whether a man do travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness." So when pretty much when all hell breaks loose, you're gonna see some man out here, kind of shitting bricks. They're gonna be scared. Verse 7, "Alas, for that day it is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." So though there's going to be Jacob's trouble, there's going to be trouble with the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. There's going to be also trouble for the so-called white man, who is Esau, Edom, because all hell is going to be breaking loose. But the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, is going to be protecting his hopeful man, the elect man, the 144,000. So we go back to 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 16, I think. That's a lot. There you go. Verse 18. "For because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and man shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword." So that's when they're going to be invading other people's houses with guns, "and spoil their goods." And the goods will be, the essentials, the stuff they need. If it's water, food, soap, whatever another person has, people are going to go there and take it for themselves because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So right now, if people are fighting over, Charlie Kirk, and imagine when famine hits here, when there's no food and people are in survival mode, where everything's going to shit, basically, everything's going to hell. People are going to be, going to other people's houses with guns and going to be killing each other for that, because they're going to go in survival mode. And with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.